and there's a lot of truth to be revealed tonight.
Part of what has happened is that you can do those things that make the race look like a jump because there's no penalty.
And everything that the white man sells, he sells it under the number 6. He sells it under sex.
It's a systematic attempt to exterminate a people.
Speak on it, you know where you're at. It's where knowledge flow free, so sit down and relax. I said, speak on it, you know what it is. And if you're coming fugazi, then it is what it is. I said, speak on it, you know where you're at. It's where knowledge flow free, so sit down and relax. I said, speak on it, you know what it is. If you're coming fugazi, then it is what it is. Welcome to Speak on It, at Bedroom on this track. I got my nigga JoJo, and he's spitting them facts. They try to find out who he is, but he's setting up traps. And niggas be falling in and they breaking their back. We some brothers with opinions, this ain't based on no fact. I'm guaranteed to drop bombs on any base that you at. You think that you beating us now, but we rallying back. I only got so much time because the salary cap. We got stories of glory, yeah, black people making it. We here to feed the people, so don't be ashamed to take the shit. We ain't like the others that get on TV and fake the shit. I don't snake the people, I cut the heads off of snakes and shit. Ancestor energy here to form a relationship, to talk about a problem so we can really go face the shit. We don't have to suffer, we can go ahead and erase the shit. It smell like good home cooking and we can taste the shit.
Come on in, like, share, subscribe. We gon' speak on it today, you dig?
Speak on it, you know where you're at. It's where knowledge flow free, so sit down and relax. I said, speak on it, you know what it is. And if you're coming fugazi, then it is what it is. I said, speak on it, you know where you're at. It's where knowledge flow free, so sit down and relax. I said, speak on it, you know what it is. If you're coming fugazi, then it is what it is.
Yes. Back again. Another episode of Speak on It. I'm your host for today, Rome the Great. Please say the great. Host JoJo the Ryan. He couldn't make it today, but we gonna hold it down like we always do. I got a guest today. He here to tell you a blueprint. Now, mothers, I need you to bring your sons. Oldest sons, preferably. We got a man that might have made a mistake, might have been doing what he got to do, ended up going to prison. Did a long bid, came out, no excuses. Bang, got lit. Trying to make that legal money. Playing no games with y'all. Standing up for our people. Positivity, not negativity. Life, not death. I'm giving y'all 10 toes down.
Yes, sir.
All right, so there's a horrible thing that happened in New York a couple days ago. So if y'all go on YouTube, look it up, watch the news, 19 people lost their life. I believe it was like 10 adults, 9 children. A whole building, apartment building complex caught on fire, the whole 3rd floor. I actually seen it myself. It's horrific. They need our help. If there's anything that you need to donate to, I mean, you donate to bloggers, you give out money frivolously, you smoke, you drink. These people need our help. So I'm about to put this information up. I'm going to take a minute while this is up. I want y'all to write this down. This isn't a Cash App type thing. I'm not sure if they accept money or not. But one thing I know, that you got something, you got canned goods, you got coats, you got clothing. I mean, you gotta think, a lot of people are probably homeless right now. You know, if a whole apartment complex caught on fire, man, I've been in a fire. That's one of the scariest things that can happen in life. And I don't care how tough you are. That will break you down when you see that red flame at that door, at that exit. So, man, these people need it. So I'm going to throw this up right quick. So if you're watching now, if you're watching during the playback, man, please write this down. And anything you got, man, these people could use anything. I mean, there got to be a whole bunch of people with nothing. So let's just take a moment and please, from your hearts, man, try to help these people. Because I am. I'm gonna take it down in a minute, but I'm gonna put it back up several times. So you gonna get your opportunity. So there ain't gonna be no excuses. I didn't see it. It wasn't up long enough. No, none of that. I'm gonna put this up several times. All right, let's get into this. All right, 10.
Yes, sir.
So when you was younger, like around 6, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be several things. You know, as a kid, you play cops and robbers and stuff like that. Well, a lot of times I used to play the cop, and then, you know, majority of my family was in the service. My brother, my sister, my father, aunt. So I was always into like that, you know, the structure of, you know, the service. So I always, at a young age, I seen a gun and I knew it wasn't being used for no violence. I knew it was a service weapon. I understood that. And, you know, my dad wasn't there. So the person that raised me, my mother's boyfriend, he even was in the service. So he used to tell me about the army. He the one that taught me how to drive trucks. I started off driving sanitation trucks. But as a kid, I always wanted to be a cop because I always wanted to do good. I wanted to go to the service. I wanted to become a police officer.
Do you believe like you was more innocent as a kid, like and fell into corruption, or do you feel like you was like rowdy?
Well, I think that the influence came by anything that I did bad and I got praised for it. I think I embraced it more. The more praise I got for it, the more bad I did. So people used to call me bad. I had other people saying that's a badass kid. Then my nickname was Badass as a kid. And I guess I had to live up to the name. So whenever something happened, I lived up to it. I was a badass.
So I hear a lot on Clubhouse, man. I be watching that, and you know, I'm not from New York, so I want to ask you. A lot of people talking about old New York and new New York. Now, I don't know the difference because I ain't there. So can you explain to us, like, how was it growing up in old New York?
Well, old New York, man, I think it was much more unity. And even when I look at films and I look at different things in New York from back in the days, I get like this overwhelming feeling of pain. And the pain is a good pain of joy. And I be wishing I could go back to them times. Even when the bandits was a building and I mean, the buildings was abandoned and, you know, people were on drugs and stuff like that. But we had each other. It was more community back then. It was more brotherly love. Because I guess we was all in poverty and, you know, you had your crime, you had your different things that was going on in neighborhoods. But at the same time, you had more unity. My mother could spank your kid. My uncle could give your kid a spanking. Like it was each one teach one. Everybody was about. At a young age, my uncle told me one time, I remember when I first started selling drugs, he was like, yo, listen, he seen me with all the money I was going in the house and he stopped me. He said, listen, so you was out there selling drugs for what? I didn't know what to say. I said, I was selling it to get money. He said, okay, so being that you want to get money, you want to do the right thing, take that money out your pocket and you got to give me half. I'm like, for what? You ain't do nothing. He's like, just go towards the family.
Right.
Always take care of your family. Yeah. He said, whatever it is, you got to take care of your family. So I believe back then it was more about family. It was more about, you know, teaching one another because at that time we was just coming out of the 60s and we was coming out of that Malcolm X Nation of Islam, you know, Farrakhan was just stepping in and we was more about brotherly love at that time. Today in New York, it's I don't know, it's all for one for all. We don't give a fuck. The rat being a rat, a snitch is more like being praised. And not saying that it's a bad or good thing, but if you're gonna live your life under a certain code, live up to it because a civilian is going to live up to being a civilian. He's going to tell to the fullest. So if you're going to be a criminal to the fullest, be a criminal. Hold your goddamn tongue. Don't start flipping and telling on everybody when you get jammed up. At the same time, when it comes to these young brothers, see, I believe that from when I was growing up all the way to now, we all been forewarned about what's ahead of us. Because the kids from today is just the kids that came a generation, 2 generations after me, they was forewarned. They know right from wrong. I could go to any one of them, and they know right from wrong. But when it comes to expressing it, and they don't know how to, and they don't know why. So I believe that the government is purposely doing this, like in the smaller scale when it comes to prison. The same thing out here in society, they purposely doing it because there were programs set in the prison system that helped inmates. And there was a program particularly that I was in that over 90% of the inmates, the recidivism rate was at an all-time low. No one returned. They learned about their crime, their criminal history, why they did the things they did, and they all came home and became successful. And the program worked. And they took the program out too. Everything that helped, from college to everything, they took it away from us. And if you look back at the Attica riots, that's the reason they didn't want to give it to us, because it's not about correcting when it comes to Department of Corrections. It's not about correcting us. It's about lock them up, throw away the key. Don't teach them nothing. Let them come out. Or if they get a chance to come out, now we really could lock them up and keep them there forever. And that's why I say with these kids today, like, none of these kids today could tell me, yo, I didn't know, or blame it on society, or blame it on anything. There is no excuse, because it's much broader now, opposed to back in the days when I was growing up. You had your homeboys, you had people on the corner, you had old timers that would try to teach you and tell you stuff. But now, today, you got YouTube, you got Instagram, you got all kind of social media that's telling you about what not to do, and what to look for, and what to not get into, and the pitfalls of crime.
Right. So, did you grow up in the crack era at all? Like, were you a part of that? Like,
yeah,
old New
yeah,
York?
definitely.
Explain that. Like, it had to be like zombies walking around, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the crack era.
Go ahead. And the family structure. I apologize.
Yeah, the crack era was crazy, because, man, it just came and swept the city off its feet. It was different, man. I got family members that got addicted to that, and you see the whole transition in them overnight. They go from hardworking people to being in the streets, selling everything, selling their cars, selling anything, any belongings that they ever had. They sell that shit for crack. And I remember when crack first came and I first found drugs, it was some crack that was in front of my building. And I took the cracks. I didn't know what it was. I went to my sister's boyfriend, and he told me, he was like, yo, this is crack. This is what you got to do with it. This is how you sell it. This is what you do. Boom. And he took me and he showed me how to sell it, how much to get back, how to bag it up. And because it was already in the bottle, it was bagged up in the bottle already. He took it and showed me how to do it over. He took it out and said, look, this is how you do it. This is this worth. This is worth this. He showed me how to do all that. And just the rush of it, and seeing the fast money, and see how it came. I was addicted to the money at a very young age. So crackheads in that crack era was scandalous, man. It was not only the addiction of people, but the crime rate went sky high because people were chasing a high. So it hit harder than dope. It hit harder than any drug that you could think of, because it was a quick high. It wasn't something that you can be on and enjoy like dope. Dope you can enjoy for a long time. And that's the difference between like a dope fiend and a crackhead. A dope fiend did it because after a while their bodies became dependent on it. A crackhead, it was a moment of enjoyment, opposed to a dope fiend. Now it became a habit to the point to where, oh, this drug is if I don't get it, I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna be throwing up. I'm gonna be in a hospital. I'm gonna be, opposed to crack. And crack, I don't know what the hell it does. I never tried crack, but whatever it do to your mind or whoever it is, I seen the toughest, the strongest fall victim to it. And I'm like, damn, I didn't want that high. I said, I don't want that high because if it's gonna make me do that, I don't want it. Yeah,
Right.
but it was deep, man.
So I watch his show. I'm a fan, and I suggest
Hmm.
anybody who don't watch his show, please watch his show. The brother know what he talking about. I heard him talk about gangs at one point. So what made you want to join a gang, and what experience, like, explain the experience of being part of a gang?
Well, I first got involved with a gang. I was in Indiana, and this is before the blood and all that other stuff ever in New York City. So I was in Indiana. I was locked up, and I was young. I was in the youth camp, the same prison that they had Mike Tyson in. Before they even built it, I was in the prison over there, and I was in Marion, and I was just a young kid, and they were like, "Hey, New York." They used to call me New York. They'd be like, "Yo, New York, man, boom." And the guys was from L.A., but they moved to Ohio, and they were young, and I guess they didn't know what the hell they was doing either. They was just trying to recruit, and they recruited me because the way I played basketball, and um, and the way I talk. So then, when I wound up coming to New York afterwards, when I uh, uh, got arrested for my case now, I was trying to bring that to New York, but dudes wasn't trying to hear that. He was like, "We ain't with that blood shit,
Mhm.
we ain't with that gang shit." And I started a different gang called MBK, my brother's keeper, me and a friend of mine. And from that, other gangs started forming. The Latin Kings was here already. Then COB, combination of both, another gang that came, and we wound up getting into a war with the Latin Kings. And we went to war with others, but half of the people that was down with my gang, the Latinos, they all became Latin Kings. So now I got beef with them because now they in that gang, and one thing led to another. I wound up going upstate and continued my same stupidity, but it all came to an end because I finally woke up and began to I began to look at not only my past but what the hell is my future, and look at my child, my son that was coming. He's getting older, but it was a good experience for me because it helped me grow. Because I've studied everything. I've been in Santeria. I've been in Islam. I've been in Hold on, give me 1 second. Why are they calling me?
Mhm.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, we good. Always doing the
Yeah,
editing.
yeah. So I've been in all religions, Islam, Nation of Islam, name it, whatever one. I've been on my quest. I was on my search for knowledge, where my place is, soul searching, whatever you want to call it, and it helped me because I learned about everything, and I'm well versed in everything. And I had one guy tell me every religion that I went to and I studied in, they all seen something in me. When I went to Santeria, they was like, "Yo, the spirit is calling on you. You're gonna be a babalao one day. You're gonna be a high priest. You're gonna be a speaker for the spirits and that." They was saying, "Yo, I see it in you." They was reading it, and then when I went to Islam, they were saying, "Here it come again. They calling me again." Hold
Hmm.
on, God damn it. So, what every religion. So after that, I began to see my worth. I began to see my ability, how I was able to lead, even when I was blood. I see how I was able to lead. Though when I was home, I was a leader, but I never understood it, and I was leading the people the wrong direction. So when I came blood, I seen that I was a leader. People always counted on me. They looked up to me. So I said, "Damn, I got something going on here." But I never went on it when they were saying, "Yo, you was going to be this and there's a religion, you're going to be that." I never did it. I don't know. I guess I would say, I didn't want to play with, because I believe in the spirit. I didn't want to play with the spirit because I
Mm.
felt that if I played with the spirit, that something bad would come back to me. So I didn't play with it.
Right. do you feel like you wouldn't have never joined a gang if you went to prison, or do you feel like if you was on the outside and you never you would have joined a gang anyway? You feel me?
Nah, I think if I was on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
I think if I was on the outside, I would never join no gang, but I would have been a leader of what the government may have called a gang. See, listen, when I never even talked about this part, but when I was growing up at the age of, I was about 15, 15, almost 16 years old. I was part of, the government called it a gang, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a gang. We was a group of guys from the neighborhood that all sold drugs together. And, once it's more than five and it's a group and you're selling a substantial amount of drugs, they're going to make you a gang. But we wasn't a gang. And I was like the go-to guy. I was always the one who was quick. Because, like I said, I had poor impulse control, so I was the one that was always quick to fight, jump to something, grab the gun. You know what I'm saying? When it came to selling drugs, I wasn't afraid. That's how I got locked up in Indiana. They was like, yo, we're going to take these drugs over here. I was like, all right, boom, give it to me. I'll take it. I took a kilo, put it on me, got on the airplane. Like, and I think back now, like, shit, I wouldn't dare do that now. Like, that, I was crazy. I just went on a plane with a kilo.
Right.
I had the kilo on me, and I had half of the baggies that I was bagging up the drugs with on me.
Oh shit, you're a maverick.
Yeah, and when I got to Indiana, it was crazy. When I got there, the lady who came to pick me up from the airport, her car broke down right in front of the airport. So they had to call the police. I'm like, why you call the police? They're like, well, we got to call the police before we get the tow truck. I'm like, oh, that's backwards. I got to get out of this car, get these drugs off me. They was like, man, this be easy. Police came, I took a cab. We wound up getting a cab, going back to the house, got to the house. And when we got busted out there, was a big thing over there in Indiana. And with me and my co-defendants. But I was always the one who had the most poor impulse control, ready to go crazy, ready to set it off on whoever. And but if I was out, I believe that I wouldn't have been in no gang, but I'd have been I don't know, I would say maybe I would have been dead or paralyzed or something. Because I had a fever for guns. I had a fever for guns. For real. I don't know what it was about the guns. I loved them. I loved the sound of it. I loved the power it gave me when I picked it up. The fear that it put in people when they pulled it out and they see me with it. Guns just did something to me. But in all actuality, I was a coward. And I can admit that today I was a coward because without the gun, I didn't have that same feeling. I didn't have that same toughness, that same ability to do the things that I did when I had the gun. I felt like I could walk on water. And I wish a nigga would step on my foot, bump me, say something to me, or look at me wrong. I pop your ass, and, is it worth it? Hell no.
Man. So, what did you do to land yourself in prison? Just a charge. You don't have to go into it.
Well, I had a murder. I had a robbery. I had a conspiracy. I had a thing called visiting the common nuisance. And, well, I was give you a brief little thing how corrupt the police is, and they still like that. And I come from under the Dirty 30 precinct. And the Dirty 30 is a precinct that's around my neighborhood that the whole police force got locked up. And they were corrupt as shit. And they used to come and extort guys in the neighborhood that was selling drugs. One cop particularly, one of the main officers, Nova, he had got me one time. And long story short, he wound up locking me up, took me in the bathroom, was like, what's up? We're going to fight one-on-one. I'm like, come on, motherfucker, let's fight. When we got in the bathroom, they took the handcuffs off, and one cop was standing guard looking out the bathroom. Then he pulled a knife out, was trying to stab me. He wound up cutting me up and shit. And I really couldn't fight back because, he got a goddamn big-ass knife. He a grown man. I'm only like 14, 15 years old. And the sergeant came, and he was like, yo, don't say nothing. I held it down, like, I ain't say nothing. But after that, I went through the system, came back out. Then he used to come to me in the neighborhood and be like, yo, if you're gonna be out here, you're gonna have to start giving. And I never told nobody like what this motherfucker was doing. You know what I'm saying? Though I seen what he was doing to me, doing to other people. You know what I'm saying? But I guess at that time, this is what we felt, that this was the way that we can get over, and we didn't have to worry about getting arrested because we was giving the police whatever the fuck they wanted as far as money or drugs when they came through. The motherfucker was extorting dudes, and they all wound up getting arrested. It was crazy. Just my neighborhood, you know. I seen my first murder I seen. I was about 7 or 8 years old. A friend of mine, father, I seen the guy kill him right on my face, like right on the corner. And I didn't even know that I suffered from that trauma. But as I got older, I know it was trauma to me. And every time I seen my friend, no matter what, where we were at, even to this day, once I look at him, I see the crime happen again and again. I see the guy holding the gun. I see his father on the floor bleeding. I'm looking over at him. And as I'm looking at him, I don't know, as a kid, I'm visualizing him looking up at me. And I'm seeing me. And I don't know, it's crazy. I can't even explain it. But I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But for a kid to see something like that and it be close to a friend of yours and see them die right there. He died right there, like looking up, and you can see the death in his eyes, and it's crazy, man.
Right. Do you think black people need like therapy, like just for the life that we live on a normal, or do you feel like you just can handle that shit and you just gonna keep it moving regardless? Like what's your recommendation, being that you been through that?
I guess other nationalities or society,
right,
people outside of our race feel that we could take anything.
Yeah.
They've been through all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's why they don't give us nothing. That they owe us. We ain't asking for nothing. You owe this to us. So I believe that they feel that, you know what? Slavery, they survived that. Killing one another, yeah, they could survive. They ain't nothing. Police killer, all right, whatever. Yeah, they gonna make it through it. They just gonna beef about it, march, and then the next day they gonna kick their feet up and be chilling again. So I believe that us as black people, we don't keep our foot on their necks when it comes to government, when it comes to forcing them to writing in new laws, because when we was in slavery, we were so-called free, and they signed that paper, we went hard for that, and we didn't stop until they signed that shit. And I wondered what it was at that time. What was the vibration? What was the atmosphere like when it came to black people? We could say and talk history, but I wonder what that feeling was like to be in that tension of, I want my freedom, and I'm a fight until I die to get it. Yeah. Opposed to today, that it's not only a certain percentage of physical slavery, but the mental part where they have us like nobody's tired. Nobody's really tired. We only go in an uproar and get crazy when things happen, opposed to just waking up every day and feeling the things that we feel when we get up and expressing it, opposed to just getting up and dealing with it and going through life like nothing bothers us. Us as black people, nothing bothers us. Right. We got everything is, you got to have thick skin for it. Nothing bothers us. But I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person that feel that you got to have some type of vulnerability. You got to be open. You got to let people see that underlayer of your skin, and that's the person who you really are. That's why when it comes to certain YouTubers, it comes to certain people, I don't care about the person that's on the surface and what I'm looking at. I know that there's something else under that layer of skin that you're not allowing me to touch into. And that's the part that I want to get to know. That's the part I want to touch on when it comes to these kids. That's the part we got to learn to pull that extra layer back. And it all comes with being vulnerable. And kids are not going to be vulnerable because they feel that we, as the older generation, don't understand and don't know. When I was younger, when older people came and talked to me, I felt they didn't understand, but I listened. And after I listened, Even if I didn't want to do it, when I seen it, I thought back and said, "Oh shit, this is what he was talking about." So now today, I think we not using the right messages and the right tactics to get to these children today. That we got to talk to them kids as we are their age again, instead of being the OG and looking down and yo shorty, yo shorty, you gotta this and that and pointing the finger at him, opposed to sitting there and be like, what's going on? Talk to me. And he gonna be like, talk to you about what? Tell me what's going on. How do you and you could just ask a question, then let him talk. Ask a question, you give a little, he give a lot. You give a little, give a lot. And let him talk, opposed to you telling him every goddamn thing. Because a lot of these kids are smart today and they learn a lot and they frustrated and they angry and they upset. They just don't know who the true enemy is. And not that it's just a white man, because a black man could be the enemy as well. So it's not the
Right.
white man, it's not the Asian man, it's not, it's whoever takes your liberty, whoever fights against what's right as far as your growth and progress in life. Anybody who don't want to give a helping hand, I believe that's the enemy. Anybody who don't want to give back, you are the enemy. Anyone who don't have a kind word, you are the enemy. Because we was not created in the image of the higher power to be living the way we live in today. This is not the image of God.
At all.
It's not.
So you got your charge.
Hmm.
Now it's time to get sentenced. How much time did you end up getting for these charges?
I got 15 years to life. And 15 years to life is something else, man. And a lot of kids right now, it's a fact. And I ain't been on Rikers Island in a while. I've been upstate going to visit brothers, but I ain't been on a Rikers Island visit in a while. But right now on Rikers Island, I could guarantee you that over 90% of the kids that's on Rikers Island, the people, period, in every building, none of them going to the law library studying their case and understanding what their future's going to be, what their future's going to be like. No one is going to the law library and learning about what happened with their case, how they could get out, how to get around it. Nobody. They all just sitting on Rikers Island, looking at TV or half-ass working out, talking shit, doing nothing. Just going all day doing nothing. And when it comes to court dates, when these guys go to court, that's the only time they feel alone. And that's just what I went through. That's what every peer of mine went through. When we went to court and it was time to go in that courtroom, it was silence. It was loneliness. It was fear. It was pain. You see it in each other's eyes. I didn't see it back then, but when I look back, I'm like, God damn. We was a bunch of scared young punk ass boys who was acting tough on one side, but we wore that mask when we went in that courtroom because we went into baby mode because we didn't understand the language. We didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. When they started to talk about CPO, this and that, and they was talking to me, murder in the second degree, and this and that, and I didn't fully understand. All I wanted to do was go home. I didn't think about no victim, the crime, a gun, blood, shooting, nothing. All I wanted was I just want to go home. And
So explain that right there for the kids that's watching. The judge slammed the gavel, 15 to life. That's something real. You got to deal with that. How does your mind process that?
man, let me tell you something. It didn't process it until that day when when I got the time, right? And I got back to Rikers Island. And on Rikers Island, you get a thing it's called a floor card. And on the floor card is your picture with your charges, separation orders, if you're a Muslim, everything, right? When I got back, they gave the floor cards in, and there was one CO who I was cool with. And we always used to talk about the streets and girls and this and that. And when I came back, he looked on it, he called me to the bubble. He was like, yo, come here. He said, you got 15 years? I'm like, yeah. He like, what the 15? And when he was saying it, That shit was ringing in my ear, like, and I'm like, what the fuck are you saying it like that for? And he looking at me and he's like, motherfucker, do you know that you ain't never getting out? And I only had like 3.5 years in. I'm like, oh, okay. And it didn't fully all the way hit me yet. But when you get upstate and you go through the dehumanizing center, which we call it, where they louse you, they make you get naked, they cut your hair off, you now enter in slavery. They give you a number, and when they lock you in that cell that first night and them doors close and it's silence, and all you can hear is either your heartbeat or your breathing, and you got them four walls, and all you got is your fucking thoughts.
Right. Don't
And
go there yet.
now,
Don't go there
okay,
yet. All right. Day one, you get on that bus. You got to go from jail to prison. They
yes,
put
sir.
you on that bus.
Yep.
Explain that experience.
Well, Rikers Island is one thing, and upstate is a different thing. When you're on Rikers Island, it's like it's a fucking camp. It's not nothing serious. It's not even prison. You roaming around, you doing whatever you want to do, you acting crazy. You hear the stories, guys is cutting each other and all kind of crazy shit. But when you get to go upstate, it's a totally different world. Now you in reality. When you get handcuffed and you get on that bus to go upstate, you don't know what awaits you. All the stories I heard growing up from a kid, they never told me about this part. Nobody never told me about this part. So when you get up, get on that bus, they wake you up about 4:30 in the morning. You know, they shackle you down now. Now you're getting shackled, opposed to just getting handcuffed. On Rikers Island, when you go to court or wherever you move, you just handcuffs to the front. That's it. Now they putting handcuffs on you. They putting a box around the handcuff. They putting a chain through the handcuffs, putting this shit around your waist. The chain drops down to your feet. They handcuffing your ankles together with a chain, and they chaining you to another man. And now both of y'all got a penguin walk to the fucking bus. Now, when you get on that bus, that ride is going to be the longest ride. It's only 45 minutes to downstate. But when I got on that bus, that was the longest ride from New York to downstate. And when you on that bus, just imagine this. The shackle part I just told you. And I'm shackled to you, me and you, brother. And I got to take a shit when we on that bus. Now, you know how small a bus bathroom is. When I go to the bathroom, you got to go with me because you shackled to me. You might have to help me open my pants up. Yo, help me open up my pants.
Hell no.
You might have to help me pull my pants down. And brothers, we do that. We help each other. Boom, because you got to take a shit. I don't want you shitting on yourself and you sit next to me. I got to smell that shit all day. When you go to sit down to take a shit, I got to stand there with you because I'm handcuffed to you. My feet is handcuffed to your feet. So now I got to stand there and smell your shit, your farts. While you in that little ass bathroom, shitting. Or if you got to take a piss, I got to stand there with you, shackled. Ain't no washing your hands after it's over. Ain't none of that shit. Back to our seat. We sitting down. So that bus ride is just like the slave trade when we came over here. But the only thing, we couldn't get up. We was just shitting on top of each other. A brother shit on the ship, and the shit goes down to the brother laying under him. You know, we shit and piss on each other. That's just what it was on that bus. And when you get to downstate, you get off that bus, and they put you in that cell, then they take you out, and they tell you, listen, they give you no, when you get off the bus, you go outside of a cell. They call each person out individually. It might be 2 officers or 3. They call us all out. We standing in front of a desk. Now you're dealing with the upstate correctional officers. So they tell you strip. And you got to strip. You got to strip naked. And I double dare you to refuse. I ain't stripping naked. You're going to strip right here. It's going to be people walking all back and forth all around you. There's going to be guys in the cell here. It could be women over here. Fuck all that. You're going to strip right here. And when you strip, you're going to stand there. And I don't know why I know why now, but they make you stand there. Now I'm naked. Now you want to ask me questions. You could ask me questions when I was dressed. Now they want to ask you all these questions about this shit. You got to give them all your property, and then they give you a bottle. It's called a delouser, in which it cleans you from crabs and lice. And they give you this bottle, and they tell you to go in the shower, which is right behind you. It's going to be you and a couple of other guys. And when you go in that shower, it's going to be cold. It's going to be one shower head. It's going to be about 6 or 7 of you under that one shower head trying to wash this shit out your head and off your body with this little ass bottle that they gave you to clean yourself with. After that, you come out of there, they give you a towel to put around you, then you go sit in the barber seat. It's like about 4 or 5 barber chairs, and the guys cut your hair. So you know how when you home, you get your hair cut, then you go take a shower. Not in prison. You take a shower, then you cut your hair. So now you got patches on in your head because your hair is wet and the clippers can't cut all your hair off. So now you got patches, the hair sticking to your body, and it's like crazy. Then they say, what size you wear? I wear a large. They give you a medium. What size you wear? I wear medium. They give you a small. You know, they don't give the size that you wear. So now your clothes is tight. They sticking to you because you're still wet. They give you about 2 minutes to dry the fuck off with a little ass towel. The towel was about small as a goddamn washcloth. And then from there, they give you your setup. A setup is a blanket, 2 sheets, 2 pillowcases, a toothpaste, and they give you a rule book. And they tell you to study that rule book. This is the new laws you got to follow. Under the laws of society that you still got to follow. But these rules are the prison rules that you're going to have to follow. And it's a number system with everything. You a number. Your parents come see you. They say John Johnson. Oh, okay, that's the name. What's his number? They want his number. They want your number. Fuck that shit. You cattle now, nigga. What's his number? When it comes to that rule book, it's a number. They say you get in trouble for not being where you're supposed to be or not getting to your appointment on time. That's why when you know guys that come from prison, everybody's prompt. They got to be somewhere on time. They always on time. Everything is, you know, tick, 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 tick by the book because we so used to it. So if you're not where you're supposed to be, and it's called out of place. But out of place could be a 109.10 or 109.11. I forgot whatever that shit, but I know it's 109 point some shit. Yeah. And with that charge, which is a tier 2 or tier 1, is how they tier it. Now it's another number. You judged on tiers, tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. Tier 3 being the most heinous, the baddest, where you could get the most time in the box. Tier 2 is you only could get up to, I think, 30 to 60 days lockup. And tier 1 is you could just lose some of your privileges. But whatever the case, everything that you get in prison is not a right. Everything you get in prison is a privilege. And they can always take away those privileges. Your parole is a privilege. Coming out the cell, going to the gym is a privilege. Only thing is your right is to fucking eat a shit. So everything else is a privilege. So go ahead. So
upon arrival, how long do you feel like it took you to adjust just to the change of life? Not just a routine, but just like the animalistic nature of being in prison. Like, how long did it take you to get into that mind frame?
Listen, it took me it was quick. Yeah. Because I was already desensitized. I already dehumanized people already, so I knew what that was. I mean, I didn't know the word, the meaning of it, but the feeling of it, I already know what that feeling was. So you gotta do it quick, because if you take too long, you could become a victim, and you could become the prey. If you take too long to learn the ropes and how to adjust to become a savage, right? You gotta literally become a savage. All that good thinking, those good thoughts, you gotta fuck that. It's about survival now. This shit is a jungle, for real. So my mindset automatically went to jungle. So if they was to send me to a jail, right? Let's say right now I went to a prison. They said they lock you up. I'm gonna be upset. My mind is going to be on freedom, family, and all this good shit, right? But at the same time, once I walk up to that cell and I look in there, because this is going to become my reality. I'm going to have to put another mask on because I have to go inside that goddamn cell. I have to deal with those roaches that's on the floor, that rat I just seen run past, the mattress that still got piss stains in it, the dirty, filthy toilet. I'm going to have to deal with that. So I'm going to have to put my mindset have to be able to say, I'm no longer this clean human. I'm a beast. And with that, everything else that comes behind it is beast mode. So that's why when guys is in prison, they begin to go in beast mode because not only their living conditions, but the way they have to think now. Because it's kill or be killed. You can't let nobody say nothing. Even that's why people in prison, they don't play. We don't play in here. Because if you play in here, somebody else on the outside don't know you playing. They gonna take that shit serious. So if a dude be like, man, shut up. But he think that's my man. We cool. That's how we joke around, man. Shut up. When we in the cell, we talk like that. But when we come out the cell, we don't say, man, shut up. Because we know that this dude that's on the line behind us is gonna be like, oh shit, look, he just told that bitch nigga to shut up and he ain't say nothing. So you automatically gotta be on point about everything. You gotta automatically don't accept anything as far as if somebody say something like that, suck my dick thing, saying something about your mother or saying you a bitch or anything out here in society that we would look at and be like, man, that shit ain't about nothing. And there is under a microscope and seen 1,000 times bigger. Stepping on my foot and you don't say excuse me, it's a problem. You bump me, it's a problem without saying excuse me. If we eating at a table, this is how serious it is. This is a sick mind. This is what's going in the prison where you got to think. When you in prison and we sitting in the mess hall and I'm eating in front of you and I finish, I'm not supposed to just sit there and while you still eating. I'm supposed to knock on the table and turn around, turn my whole back to you, give you my back. That's a sign of respect saying, I'm not going to sit here and watch you eat. I'm gonna give you your freedom to eat on your own without being watched because the police is already watching us and they all, you got 5 minutes, hurry up. They tapping the table with the stick. So I turn around out of respect, to let you eat. And that's the mindset of a goddamn prisoner. This shit is crazy. I remember and I remember when I first went upstate and I'm sitting there eating, I finished, I'm just sitting there, they like, yo, bro, what you doing? Nothing, I'm finished. They're like, yo, you gotta turn around. And I turned around, looked back like, what happened? Turn around, what happened over there? They're like, no, you got to turn all the way around. Look at everybody else. Like, see, everybody turned around. I'm like, oh, shit. So I turned around. I'm talking to the other guy that turned around in front of me now, like, yo, what the fuck you turn around for? What happened? I'm thinking like this is a rule or something. They're like, nah, out of respect. You got to turn around for the next man, to show that. I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. And with them in prison, you under government rule, right? Society, you under their rules as far as the law. Then you under the prison rules, which is the rule book, and those rules they give you, over 50 goddamn rules. And then you under prison, our own inmate rules that we give one another. We are under them rules. So now you gotta live your life every day on fucking pens and needles. Watch what you say. Watch how you say it. Watch what you do. Watch who you talk to. Don't talk to him. No, don't look at him too long. You can look at him, but don't let him see you. But turn away if he look at you, but don't look away too fast because they might think you pussy. Like, what the fuck? All this shit?
Right. I got a 2-part question. One, what is the difference between gangster on the outside and gangster on the inside? And the second part of that question is, how many times does rookies get caught slipping? I mean, fresh people ain't never been to jail, versus trained veteran.
Well, gangster on the outside. Well, a gangster on the outside is totally different because on the outside, I could shoot you from across the street. I could be gangster. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to get up on you. In jail, ain't no guns. You got to get up on a motherfucker. You got to get up and personal. You got to get that razor and cut him. You got to take that knife and get up in that man and stab him. You know, so the gangster mode is different between the streets and prison. When it comes to in the street, gangster is getting money out here hustling, doing your thing, living. In prison, I fucking stab you for a fucking sandwich. That's gangster in prison. Cause I don't take no shit. I'm a gangster. I don't play when it comes to the pettiest shit. Make me more of a gangster. Cause that show, I don't take no shit. But on the street, you wouldn't even look at that as nothing. You know?
Right.
And what was
So,
the second part?
um, rookies when they come in green with no jail experience, like first offenders that end up going to prison, and then you got them veterans that know the politics, the rules, that been there for years. How many rookies have you seen get taken advantage of?
Oh, all the time. All, all the time. All the time. Because we already know that the rookie thinks that he got it all together and he knows. And that's when it becomes much easier to get you. Either if it comes to robbing you, if it comes to extorting you, get your people to send money. A lot of dudes use dudes to hook them up with a girl, you know, to put you under the wing. And you don't even know you being played. And a lot of times when dudes is being played, somebody else. So let's say like if you come in, right, and you never been to prison, and I get you, and I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Yo, where you from? Boom. What? Oh shit. If I ain't from there, I could act like I know somebody from over there. Oh, I got a cousin that's from North Carolina. Where what part? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My aunt used to be out there. Boom. I'm gonna give you a whole story about some shit to make you feel comfortable, get cool with me. Yo, what's up? You need anything? Nah, I'm good. You need something? Let me know. Boom. I'm gonna start looking out for you, and I start getting cool with you, right? Whatever my goal is, what I'm here to play you for, I could be here to play you for money. I could be here to play you for whatever. It's gonna be somebody else on the outside watching. Oh shit, damn, that nigga got him first. So they gonna try to figure out a way to finagle to get you to go against him so you could be under him. And that's just the way it's gonna fucking be. Until you understand or somebody really come and teach you and be like, yo, listen, bro. You know the other dude that had you, he was just trying to extort you. The other dude that got you now, he not only extorting you, but he trying to get you to suck his dick. And you like, what? Man, he trying to get you to suck his dick, man. Like, I think I told a story before. I told on one of my old videos about Pissy Black. A lot of guys from New York know about Pissy Black. You had guys that come to prison, and young guys always, because they the easiest ones black to get. Here, come to your cell, because when you first come to prison, you got to go through a 3-day quarantine. Meaning that you got to stay in your cell for 3 days. They feed you in your cell, they do everything in your cell until they sure that you don't have no problems with nobody. You could come out. The nurse comes see you, everything. Once your 3 days is over, you get to come out. In those 3 days, Pissy Black is coming to your motherfucking cell because he's the porter and he's out on the gallery. And he's going to come to your cell and he's going to put a cup up there and say, fill it up. Now, mind you, the image of Pissy Black, this is a big 6 something black ass, muscle bound, agile, could fight his ass off, motherfucker. Sports fanatic. He play every sport. He could box everything. He cut in your cell. He gonna give you a cup. He could give you a cup. He could give you the match box, the book, the match thing, the box from the matches, and tell you to fill it up. Yo, fill that up and walk the fuck away. You gonna be in there confused. What the fuck you talking about? Fill it up, and he gonna come back. Yeah, you fill it up. Yeah, like you talking about fill it up. Oh, I'm supposed to put in there. I want you to jerk off in there. When I come back, I want that cum in that cup. Now you young kid, you don't know it. Jerk off. What type of faggot shit is this? You're gonna be saying that to yourself. You're gonna say it to him. You're gonna be scared to death because he gonna overpower your whole cell. He gonna be standing over you. If you don't fill that cup up, he will be back. And Pissy Black didn't want to fuck you. Pissy Black wants you to fuck him. Pissy Black want to suck your dick. That's what Pissy Black want. And the CEO going to open that cell so he could come up in there and make you fuck him. Or let you suck his dick. I mean, you going to let him suck your dick. And a lot of people fell victim to it. And you had a lot of people, like we call them in New York, we call them booty bandits. Pissy Black, who else? Mother Dear. Man, there's some dudes just names that I don't even know their names, but I seen it before. I seen one guy, this guy Panama. He tried to rape this guy. The guy came running out the shower. He wants my body. I'm like, what the fuck? In the middle of the yard, he's naked, running. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then you see Panama walking out trying to be tough, and he's a big 6'4" Panamanian dude, smooth dude with dreadlocks, and you would never know, like, oh, this dude trying to rape motherfuckers. And what he used to do, he used to sit up by the shower area when people come through and try to like bogart, like to straight rape you. And it was crazy. It was crazy. And you see it. It's not big in jail when it comes to homosexuality and rape and all that.
Right.
In New York, it's not crazy like that. But in other states, I see it's like that. But it does happen at times. But the majority of the time, it's a agreement between two people when it comes to sexual intercourse in prison. It's an agreement. It's hardly rape. Or it's like a manipulation. The dude talk to you and talk you out of your asshole. But it's usually an agreement between two guys.
So when you did your time, did you have a strong support system? Like, did people, you have a lot of visitors, you had a lot of people writing you, or did you have to do your time by yourself?
Well, I had a very strong support system. I guess I was blessed with that.
Right.
But at the same time, it came a point in my life where, you know, like my mom's looked out, my brothers looked out, my sister, I always had a girl. But then I was like, I guess I grew tired. I don't even remember what point it happened, but I know it was a point where I was tired of asking people for money and for help. And if you could send me this, you could send me that, because it comes and then it goes. You send me $100, I get the 100, I spend it, it's gone. Somebody else, you send me 100, boom. So I had to use what I had. And what I had at the time, where another brother told me, who was a pimp, he was like, yo, you got the gift of gab, you a manipulator. And which the judge put it in my record that I'm a manipulator and I can manipulate the system. And that's the thing that they used on me at the parole board when I went to parole, from what the judge said about me. But also, when you go to court, there's certain things that they're going to be putting in your papers that you're not going to know that's there, that they're going to be seeing, that the judge is going to write about you. He could be wrong, but he's going to write this in your folder, and that's going to follow you throughout the rest of your goddamn life in your prison term. But while in prison, you know, I worked out. I always looked nice. Body was nice. I began to take pictures and put them on the internet. They had pen pal sites. And I began to use that to manipulate. I didn't see I was manipulating at that time, but now I look back like, damn, I was a manipulative motherfucker, man. But I was using what I had to get what I wanted.
Right.
And I began to see my account go from having $80 at a time, 200. The most was like about 500 at one time, because this family member sent me 250. That one sent me 100. This one sent me 50. To having over 60,000 in my account.
Yeah, damn.
That's how much money people were sending me. No cap, no bull. I was hustling my ass off. I had somebody, listen, let me tell you something. When I was gone, and anybody that know me, know Shaft, 4 to 10 toes down, know me. And that's why I don't even talk about that side, because it feels like it's a glorification. That I had somebody that sent me just sneakers and boots. That's all they did. Every month, yo, send me 2 pair of boots. Yo, send me these sneakers. Give me that. I had a person that just sent me books, only books. And I had a person that sends me money. And I had a variety of them. This one might, and I did it on a monthly basis. This one will send me $500 a month. This one will send me $200. That one I might send me $50. But then I had one that would hit me in lump sum. And I played the game. Because they thought I was getting out, and I was playing the lawyer game. And then the girl I was messing with, she played my sister, and she would call her the hours I couldn't call, talk to her, and solicit. Yo, it was crazy, the fucking scam I had going on in there. And then one day, the the administration calmed me down because they seen all the pictures that I had on the internet. But I could have them up there because it's prison websites.
Right.
And they came, but the way I took the pictures, they said, nah, you did these pictures somewhere else. You had to be messing with a female guard to get these type of pictures done. Long story short, now they started watching me to see if I was soliciting over the phone, because now they looking at my account and they like, how the fuck you got so much money coming in? Then I'm on a visit every weekend. People tell you, I never missed a visit. I was on a visit every Saturday and Sunday. I never missed a visit for years. If I did go on a visit, it's because I'll tell her, yo, don't come up, man. I'm tired today, man. I'm not going down there. But I stayed on a visit. I stayed with money and everything. And that's why when I was gang banging, I was trying to tell the homies, listen, we already got them in fear as far as the population. They already see the Bloods as being crazy, cutting and stabbing, all that. We got the fear. Now, let's start controlling the jail. So when I used to have meetings with brothers, that was what my meetings was about. Listen, this is what we're going to do. We got this dude over here, that dude over there. They getting the money, they getting the drugs in. All right, boom. We taking that shit. When they come off the visit, y'all in his house. You'll step to him, push. If he don't, stomp him out, cut him, do whatever. Because we doing it to people anyway, so we might as well do it for a cause. Push. Right. And people gonna give in. But they didn't see the vision that I see. Of course, they was like, you bugging. Some extortion shit. We ain't supposed to. Now they want to go by the rules of blood. Oh, we ain't supposed to be extorting. We ain't supposed to be doing this and that. But at the same time, you quick to cut your brother. You quick to do this. You quick to do that. And I always had a relationship with everybody. The white boys, Asian boys, Latino, black, whatever it was. Shav knew everybody. Shav could go on, because we got courts in prison. Mm-hmm. We got the white boy court. You got the Latin King court. You got the Dominican court, Blood, Crip, I could go on every court in the jail. Shaq, you'll see me in the yard going to every court. I'm in every court because I had a relationship with everybody, and that's how that's how I survive. Always kept a relationship with everybody. Always try to keep my hand in something, but try to keep it on the low to the point that the administration don't find out. But when it came to me and the pictures and manipulating and getting money from people out in society, then I no longer was with the drug stuff no more. None of that. I was just strictly with that because the money was good. And it wasn't until years later when I had stopped, I came home and I wasn't doing it no more. And people that I knew from in prison was like, yo, you still be doing that? Now that you home, you really could get. I'm like, nah, I'm not with that shit anymore. I changed my life around. I'm not doing that shit to people. So that was
so through your bed, like through the whole bed, was you gang banging the whole time?
Nah, hell no.
Okay. Go ahead. Expound on that.
Well, like I told you, at one time I was soul searching. I was in every religion, every belief system, everything. I was going through everything, learning. One religion I always kept and always followed was Islam. And when it came to it, hold on. Huh? Nah, it's a fire hydrant. That's a fire hydrant. Right there. Yeah. But it was always Islam. I always had a connection with Islam. And brothers used to be like, yo, you blood and you Muslim. And my excuse was Muslim is my religion, blood is my brotherhood, and all this dumb bullshit I used to kick. But I wasn't banging the whole time I was locked up. I never thought about how many years I was banging for. I gotta think about that shit now.
So when you dropped the flag, did you have any repercussions from that? Because they say blood in, blood out.
Nah. So when I was blood, brother was like, yo, you gotta you're not dropping your flag. When the book's open, you could just retire. And that's what I did. But at the same time, I still had some brothers was like, this and that was talking. I didn't care. So what? Because my whole thing was, I told you got to put that mask on. And the mask I pull on with straight beast mode mask on. This is my life. Like, this is my skin. I eat, I piss, I do. You gonna tell me what I can do with my body? Let's die, nigga. Let's die today. So send who you want. Let's die today, nigga, because you ain't gonna tell me what I could be and not being, when I could leave, what I could do with my life. Let's die.
Yeah. Tell us, what's one of the worst things you ever seen, in prison during your whole stint? Like, what is
I
the
seen
worst
with my
thing you
eyes, or that
seen?
or somebody
Either,
that was in it with me.
either or, whatever's worse.
The worst thing I seen. Oh well, one of the things that not affliction against somebody. The worst thing I seen was a dude try to cut his balls off. He tried to cut his own balls off. I seen a guy sew his whole mouth closed
Damn.
on a hunger strike. He sewed that shit closed.
Yeah.
I went by the gate. He was standing on the gate with his mouth sewed. I said he was from Peru or Colombia. I said, this a nut. But he said that's what they do in their country when they go on hunger strikes.
Yeah.
And he telling everybody, you gotta sew your mouth. I'm not sewing my mouth. You gotta sew your mouth, nut. But I seen that. I seen people got hot water thrown in their face.
Yeah.
It was another brother in Rikers Island where they played tic-tac-toe with his face with razor blades. I didn't see it, but it happened. Where they held him down. They knocked him out. They held him down. And they took razor blades and they cut his face and was playing tic-tac-toe on his face.
Ain't nobody doing that out here in the free world. And I want the kids to know that this ain't a place you want to go, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I seen the dude get swathed.
What is that? Explain.
You know the Suave deodorant
Yeah.
with the knob on top with the
Right. I get you. The roll on.
Yeah, the roll on.
Yeah.
They stick it up your ass. That call you got swathed.
Oh, damn! I ain't even know that's new.
Yeah, they swathe you. Yeah. I said dudes on fire before.
Yeah. Damn.
Put toothpaste on your feet while you sleep and take tissue and wrap it around your feet so the tissue can stick to your feet and set you on fire. I did that myself to people. I did shit like I was part of the dude that we call Bust Your Cup. I was part of the Bust Your Cup crew where you take shit and put it in your mouth and spit it on somebody. That was straight savage beast mode, nasty, no cap. I was a disgusting. Now when I look at it, I'll be like, listen, you got to be sick to do that.
Right.
So to be able to look back at it now, right, and say I had to be a sick mind, I had to go. That's how I show you the human brain is crazy to where you can put your brain to become a totally different person. So that's how you can see in society, like when it comes to the mob, they got suits on, they gentlemen, family men with their family, they go to church, they pray, they Catholic and everything. And then at nighttime, they chopping motherfuckers up. Prime example, my man Joe Sullivan, Mad Dog. I spent years with him in prison. White guy, Irish. He was a hitman for the mob. Him and his wife, they would sit down and have dinner at the table, and he would have a body in the basement, in the house. And he would go down there and chop the body up and come up and say, "Dang, what's for dinner?" Normal. It was normal. So when it comes to prison, that shit becomes normal. Taking razor blades, wrapping them up, putting it in plastic and sticking it in your ass with a string on it. And if somebody got beef and you pop off, you pull the string out your ass, take the razor blade and pull it out and go crazy. Like, it's normal.
Right. So I heard that you were part of the Scared Straight program. Give us some stories from there.
Oh, well, the Scared Straight, it wasn't called Scared Straight because fear, we wasn't about imposing fear, because fear only lasts as long as you able to overcome it. So I could be afraid right now, but once I overcome that fear for that moment, I'm not afraid no more. Now what you got for me? So we didn't want to scare straight the kids. We wanted to educate them more. So when it came to the program, it was called the YAP, the Youth Awareness Program, and the CAP, the Community Awareness Program, in which Kids came in, the inner city kids, kids from upstate, wherever, good kids, bad kids, and we taught them. We gave them the fear. We had different tactics that we used when it came to fear. We would put them in a cell with us, or have somebody take their sneakers, punk them, and we get the toughest ones, the worst ones, the ones that's doing the baddest with a. We had judges, lawyers, police officers come up with these kids, and we changed a lot of them kids' lives. And a lot of them kids wasn't ready for prison, and they all thought they was. And that's why when I look at these kids now, they be thinking they ready. But I believe that those programs would help a lot because it lets them experience one day of prison.
Right.
They get to experience the whole thing. They get to experience the rough side. They get to experience the how we ate. They get to experience the everything. They get to see the worst of the worst. The guys that killed their mama. They get to see the guys that shot a dude and stood over him and shot him 50 more times. We get to see people that killed their children, drowned their kids. You get to see the sickest of the sickest, hear all these stories. And I dealt with these people. I was counselor to these people. And the kids, when they come in and they hear and see these stories, they like, oh shit. And you can see the fear in their eyes now, like, oh shit, I didn't know. They heard stories about us. Now you get to see, yeah, these are the guys that's in here and they all together. And there's every man for themselves up in here.
Right. So let's get to the success part. All right. So you get out of prison, spent a long time there, and you don't reoffend. What made you want to do the right thing? What made you, not go back to your old ways? Because it's hard to get a job, especially when you got felony. So what gave you that drive, man?
Well, I never worried about when I came out if I'm gonna get a job or if I got a felony. I never allowed that to deter me to go back to doing crime or anything. So when I came home, I went for my first job, in which I was denied, and I had the job, but corporate said no. So I remember riding home on a bus, and I just told the story to these kids last week. And when I'm on a bus, I thought like it was something, a fly on my face or something. I'm wiping it and shit, but I was crying. It was tears coming down. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm crying. What the fuck is going on? I didn't even know I was crying. But I was crying because I felt that I've changed. I've showed my progress, my change, and they still deny me based on my past. So after that day, I said, I will never cry or allow nobody to tell me no. When I go in there, I'm going in there with the mindset that I got the job here. If I ain't got it here, I got it there. If I ain't got it there, I'm going to get it there. And ain't nobody going to stop me from moving on to the next one. And then it came to a point to where I said, you know what? I'm not working for nobody no more. I'm done.
Right.
I gotta have my own, and people gonna have to work for me because I'm not the type of person that can work for nobody. I need to have my own. I need to have employees under me, and that was my mindset. I'm not settling for playing catch up for the rest of my life until I die, making $700, $1,000 a week. Every week I'm getting the same goddamn thing. Ain't nothing changing. And I'm making this man rich as hell. I work for Con Edison. Con Edison is a multi-billion-dollar a year, a billion-dollar a month business. They make over $1 billion a month. And I'm over here I made $3,800 every 2 weeks. And that's after taxes. And that wasn't enough for me. I still said, fuck this shit. I need more than this because this man is eating. See, a lot of people that work with me, they was like, yeah, we getting money. I said, all right, that's money for you. That's not nothing for me because look what he getting. You can't look at what he getting. Yes, I could look at it. Look what he getting. Look at this shit. This is what he getting. Why I can't get that? I can get that. I'm worthy of that, or half or something. I'm worthy of more than what I'm getting. So I said, what is it that I can do to get me up? Because continuously doing the same job, I'm not going to be able to reach my goal when it comes to my passions. When it comes to me owning my own business, in which I wanted to start a van service, and I ended up starting my van service, and then from there, so I knew that, you know what, you got to build your credit. My cousin always told me, you got to build your credit up. If you don't build your credit up, you ain't shit. So he taught me about credit. He said, boom, you open up a account, and you start from there. Then credit cards, they're gonna be sending you cards, and then from then you don't accept every card, and then you just boom. And then I worked my way all the way up to the American Express Platinum. My credit was almost at 800. I was like about 790, which was cool. And I seen things begin to work different. When I went to buy a car, it was like everybody wanted to give me a deal. A house, it was a deal. Or so I said, damn, okay, this is how it works. This is easy. It ain't hard. It's
Right.
easy.
So
You
he
just gotta
just told
apply
y'all.
yourself.
He just told y'all that it ain't hard. You can be a felon. It's not an excuse to be poor. It's not an excuse to go rob somebody. It's not an excuse to go hustling. He built his credit, got him a business. I mean, that's the best job you can get anyway, is working for yourself. So why
That's
not
right.
just get you a business? All right. So now we
The,
on YouTube. What made you want to do YouTube? That's very, like, that makes me curious, because I can't understand it myself. So set it
well,
straight.
my cousin Sonetta used to tell me all the time to start a channel.
Hmm.
He always told me that. And then when we got with Hassan used to be like, yo, you gotta tell him those prison stories. You gotta tell him this next. Hassan used to be like, you two, what the fuck I'm gonna tell him? They used to be like, you used to talk to the youth in jail. Talk to him out here on YouTube on here. But Hassan used to always be the one that used to say, yo, you gonna feel funny when you get in front of the camera because you talking to yourself. So you
Yeah.
gotta get used to just talking to yourself. Because ain't nobody there to answer whatever. There ain't nobody, so you gotta get used to talking to yourself. And when I first did it, it did feel funny because I was talking and I'm looking at myself and I kept laughing like, oh, I couldn't stop laughing looking at me. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But so I said, damn, that's right. I used to speak to the kids. I could speak to a much broad audience. I could speak to much more people. I could reach much more people. I got a bigger voice, and that's what happened. So once I seen how when I went at Hassan, and
Hmm.
I admit that I didn't have too many followers at the time, in which we all start out with no followers, of course,
Right.
no subscribers. Everybody got to start from the bottom. I seen that uh, 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 if you attack somebody, you go with the negative side, the people love it. But
Hmm.
when you come with more of a positive message and teach them, you're not going to get too many views. So I said, you know what? I never came here for the views. I came here because I said I want to reach the youth. But within that same time, Hassan Campbell, ended up becoming a rival because he did something against me and put up a video and put some business out there that he shouldn't had. And my whole thing was I just wanted to talk to him and tell him to take the video down, which he said he was taking it down. He never took it down. So that sparked the beef between me and him. And then now that sparked me listening to him. And Sonetta used to always tell me, yo, you got to listen to him sometime because that shit he said is bullshit. And I'm telling you, man, he's trying to hurt the youth. And I'm like, yeah, well, you think so? He like, yeah. And then I started listening to his videos, and I'm like, God damn, this dude is a hypocrite. He's contradictive. He's just like not in accord with what's the tools to really help these kids today.
Right.
So now it went from a personal thing with him to, you know what? Now we just got beef. This ain't even personal no more. Now I got to do what's right when it comes to you saying things that that goes against what I stand for.
Right.
And like I said, if you don't stand for what's right, you are enemy. If you don't stand for kids and keeping kids out of prison, because in one voice you can say that, but then in the next you saying something different. You telling them to stay dangerous and live your life like you want to run and do the right thing, and then motherfucker come up on me, I kill him, and then y'all stupid for trying to kill people, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this shit don't add up.
Right.
I said, okay, you're not mentally stable, but getting on YouTube has helped a lot in reference to keeping me grounded, because now I'm not only talking about it, I gotta live it now, and people are looking up to me. I didn't look at it like that at one time. No, like, people looking up to you. They look. You got people that like this thing here. They become obsessed at times. People look up to you. They depend on you. They look to hear your voice. I'm like, damn. So what I look like letting them down? What I look like letting my child and my family down? What I look like letting myself down? That's not going to happen.
Last topic. The boy Whack 100. And the reason why I want to speak about this to you is because you're from New York. So you got a 50-year-old West Side alleged gangbanger, because in my opinion, when you make over $1 million, you ain't trying to hurt nobody. You're trying to spend that money.
That's right.
So you got this old man going to Clubhouse telling kids that certain people are rats that ain't even rats, and trying to get them killed. Hits put on them. Do you know what happens in the streets when you're considered a rat? Do you know what happens in jail when you're considered a rat? This is death in most cases. So you got an old man wishing death on the youth, and the youth respect them. Why do you think that is for New York? Because you can only speak for New York.
Well, I think guys in New York is looking for the bag. I think guys in New York feel that if they stick with Whack and what he's saying, that he just might be able to, look, he helped 6ix9ine out. 6ix9ine was a rat. He might be able to get the bag. Nah, Whack 100 got the bag. But in reality, Whack 100, I feel that he is an agent. I feel that he's the biggest rat on YouTube. And he's a punk. That's a fact. Yep. And not just because I've been in the system for 21 years in prison, but my experience through life in a whole. And he's not too much older than me. And I've seen guys like him before. I've seen guys like him fold. Just looking at the video, right? When you look at the video with him and the white boys, right?
Yeah.
See, in New York, you say somebody get busy. Yo, he get busy. A dude that get busy, he ain't talking to nothing. He in that rumble, and he getting busy. And he want the smoke. Whack 100, when he was getting it on with them white boys, he talking, he yelling, go ahead, man, go ahead, and all this other shit. No, that's not you. You not about that life. Right. You really not about it. And you was running around in a circle trying to get, it's two of them, okay? You knock one down, boom, rush the other one, set it on him, because you get busy. This is what you do. You're a warrior, but that's not what he do. He was trying to get the hell. He really wanted to get away from it. He didn't want. You could look at it when you from the street. You know he don't really want that smoke. He's yelling. He's trying to cause the scene. Got people trying to look. He know they recording already, so he want to try to keep it. I ain't trying to. I'm trying to get away from the problem. Shut your punk ass up. You're not really about that life. And he go on Clubhouse and he running these New York niggas. He's running the New York niggas.
Right. And then you got China Brim, and no disrespect on China Brim's name, because China Brim actually came out and said, Whack gave this to me. You know what I mean? So respect to that, to exposing the truth. So I feel like the other young brother that is coming out with this other paperwork, I believe it was found to be fake as well. You know what I'm saying? I believe he got paid by the same dude. I mean, it's just bad for black people and young kids, man. Y'all need to stop listening to old fools, man, because y'all better off making your own decision and doing what y'all do. You know what I mean? He's done. He in the ivory tower, man. He got what you trying to get. So why would you even let him manipulate you? But man,
if you got a guy on here every day, I don't know. He don't take breaks. He's on Clubhouse every day. Over 50 years old, Clubhouse every day. He so-called got all this money. So he say he got all this money, right?
Right.
When do you got time to spend this shit? When do you got time to run your business? When you on here like Miss Cleo telling everybody their future and what's going to happen and what's going on, and you and everybody business opposed to your own. I double dog dare any New York nigga to challenge him on anybody in LA and they business. He gonna say stay out of LA affairs.
Right.
But I want my message to get to him. Somebody send it to him. Anybody but a dead body. I want to fight him bad. Because guys like that, I fuck them up. I like to beat guys up like that because you pussy, you fronting and your oatmeal face talking all this dumb shit, tough shit over the phone and all this shit, and people backing down and you with it. Everything he speak about is what's behind him as far as who rolling with him, who could do what, and how far his arms can reach. You pussy. How far can you reach? How far can your man? He a punk, man. Ain't no other way to put it, man. And these kids that follow him and these guys from New York and older guys is a bunch of fucking fools for even believing in this punk ass dude, man. What has he done? Like everybody else say, we don't care about what you did before, what you did lately, what you did. What has he done lately? Don't start. And once you start talking that talk, now it becomes, I'm a businessman. Oh, now you're a businessman. A minute ago, you was a tough guy, killer and all this. Now you become a businessman. Man, shut your punk ass up, man. I bet he won't answer that.
Hell no. But 10 Toes, this has been a hell of an interview, bro. And I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, definitely, brother.
I'm gonna throw up this family information. Please donate and lead us up, and I'm gonna hit that outro. And I just wanna thank everybody who watched. They 10 Toes. Watch 10 Toes Down TV. Please subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And this been another one from Speak On It, You Dig, man.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace, man. Thanks.
And there's a lot of truth to be revealed tonight.
Part of what has happened is that you can do those things that make the race look like a chump because there's no penalty.
And everything that the white man sells, he sells it under the number 6. He sells it under sex.
It's a systematic attempt to exterminate a people.
Speak on it, you know where you're at. It's where knowledge flow free, so sit down and relax. I said, speak on it, you know what it is. And if you're coming fugazi, then it is what it is. I said, speak on it, you know where you're at. It's where knowledge flow free, so sit down and relax. I said, speak on it, you know what it is. If you're coming fugazi, then it is what it is. Welcome to Speak On It, at Bedroom on this track. I got my nigga JoJo and he's spitting them facts. They try to find out who he is, but he's setting up traps. And niggas be falling in and they breaking their back. We some brothers with opinions, this ain't based on no fact. I'm guaranteed to drop bombs on any base that you at. You think that you beating us now, but we rallying back. I only got so much time because the salary cap. We got stories of glory, yeah, black people making it. We here to feed the people, so don't be ashamed to take the shit. We ain't like the others that get on TV and fake the shit. I don't snake the people, I cut the heads off of snakes and shit. Ancestor energy here to form a relationship, to talk about a problem so we can really go face the shit. We don't have to suffer, we can go ahead and erase the shit. It smell like good home cooking and we can taste the shit.